Well, what is up, YouTube? Mr. Porkchop back here with a great video. I'm actually really excited about this video. I do want to apologize for how long it is and for making a lot of mistakes throughout the video, but I did add in texts to the video when I make these mistakes, so that you can see the big bold text will come up and just follow what I wrote in that, so that you don't make the same mistakes along the way. I did keep little snippets of me fixing it. I didn't go through the whole troubleshooting process because I cut out like hours of film from this. Um, and I just left like the few minutes of the aha moments, like, oh, I found this. And I left some of the errors in there just so that guys could see what error you got, and then obviously how I fixed it. But like I said, I have all the text in the video so that you don't make the same mistakes while you're following the tutorial. Um, at the end of the tutorial, what you'll end up with is this web application right here. It's going to be locally hosted right now. It's not actually going to be hosted online yet. The last chapter is going to show you that. I'll make a video on that in the future. Do you want to watch Halloween?
Okay.
All right. Let me put a Halloween video on real quick for you. All right. But anyway, like I was saying, um, I put a lot of time and effort into this video, so I do hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll try to split it up into chapters or something when I upload it to YouTube, just so it's a little easier to navigate. Doing this in the beginning just so you guys kind of know what to look forward to. Like I said, this is the web application that you'll get. And then there are a couple links up here. You go to topics, and then these are going to be the topics that are added. And then you click on the topic, it'll show you the entries. Now, the end goal for this is going to, like I said, have this hosted and styled so that it's actually a website that you can go to and you can actually create an account and start adding entries. This video is only going to get you to this point where it's not hosted and we don't have the actual account application built yet, so we can't make accounts. All these entries were added by me through the admin site. But yeah, anyway, this has been a really fun learning experience for me, and I do hope you guys enjoy this video. And like I said, there'll be a couple, at least one more, maybe two more videos in the future to finish up this application. But hey, if you enjoy this kind of material and stuff, and you're new here, I'd appreciate you subscribing and hitting the like button. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Now the rest of it is just the long, painful process of building this thing. So, oh, one other thing I wanted to mention before we get into this is I set up later on at the end of this video, I changed the views around a little bit to have all the code zoomed in. I got a comment on one of my videos while I was actually in the middle of creating this project that said that it was really hard to see my code. So I changed it. As soon as I got that comment, I changed up the way that I set up Adobe, or OBS, I mean. Once I changed OBS to kind of have a view that zooms in on the top left corner of my screen so that you guys can actually see the code. And I'll do my best to use that in the future so that the code is zoomed in and you guys don't have to like squint at your screen and try to see everything. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got. So I'm gonna try just doing Python and see what happens. This is probably gonna be where it tries to install it, the Microsoft Store. Python 3. I have Python. I don't know why it's saying I don't. A little strange. But we'll go ahead and just download it, I guess, and then see if everything works after that. I guess this isn't a bad thing to do during this video because, you know, if you guys are just starting out and haven't done it or haven't put Python on here, then you guys might have to do this step as well. So, I mean, it looks like it did it. Let's go ahead and try that. Python dash m now B. We'll try it again. Looks like it's doing something this time, so that's good. All right. So it didn't give me an error. It looks like it's doing something. Now it's saying we need to activate this. So we're going to type in source, and then just the name of the file, /bin slash activate. Okay. Source is not recognized as an internal or external command, program, or batch file. Okay, yeah, that's all right. So source might be for you might use that command, I guess, if you're using Mac or something. There's a note down here that says if you're using Windows, use the command. I guess you use the name of the file and then just write scripts, and then, whoops, hold on. Da, da, da. Oh, whoops, I'm supposed to do that. All right, we'll get this right eventually. So the name of the file, and then scripts, and then activate. All right, let's try that. Okay, now it's activated. So it says that when it's activated, you'll see it down over here inside of parentheses. So this is our virtual environment. It is now activated. All right, and then to stop a virtual environment, you just enter deactivate. So I can write in deactivate whenever I want, and that'll turn it off. Once the virtual environment is activated, enter the following to install Django. So this is where we can, oops, install Django, which is just pip install, and then Django. Looks like it's downloading and installing everything. That's pretty cool. So we got everything we needed there. Alright, you are using PIP version, blah blah blah. However, there's a newer version. Something is available. And I'm not worried about the versions. Now we're going to create a project. So move this over here. Move my microphone. I move things around a little bit, make it a little easier. Sorry guys, this is gonna be a rough video because, like I said, I'm just kind of winging this, following through. So bear with me. It's gonna be kind of slow. All right. So now we're gonna create our program. So just type in Django. The microphone's on this side, so I'm gonna try to switch this over. And my book over here. That way I'll be kind of facing my facing the microphone. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and type in Django-admin and then start project learning log. All right, again, I guess learning log, and it says to make sure to do a space and then a period. So don't forget that dot. That dot is important for some reason. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right. And then after we do that, it says the next command is going to be 1s, but then there's another note down here that I noticed that I believe says you can use something else for Windows. So, okay, yeah, so run 1s command or dir on Windows. So dir on Windows should show you what's in the directory. So this should kind of just show us what's inside the folder that we have now. And it looks like we have some new files. So yeah, it looks like there's manage.py in there now and some other stuff. So it looks good. And again, if you're on Mac, I guess you use 1S, or maybe Linux. I'm not sure. It doesn't really specify. Uh, so now after that, we are going to do dir learning log, which should probably show us what's inside the learning log folder. And inside of that, there is settings, URLs, wsgi.py. There's a bunch of different py folders, and also like an initial .py. So it's all looking good. It's all kind of following along with what the book says. So that's good. It wants us to create a database. So I guess from what it says Django stores most of the information from a project in a database. So we just need to create a database that Django can work with by following the command. We want to enter the following command while it's still in an active environment. Our environment is still active. It has those parentheses on it, and we are just going to type in Python manage.py and then migrate. All right, awesome. So that looks right. It says basically anytime we modify a database, we say we're migrating the database. I guess that's why we use the migrate command. So it looks like it's reporting that it will prepare the database to store information it needs to handle administrative and authentication tasks. All right, so now to view the project, this next step is going to be viewing the project. So we are going to go ahead and type in Python manage.py. So Python manage.py, and then run server. No issues, January, Django version, using settings, start. Okay, so it looks like it gave us the URL that we want. All right, so it looks like it's saying to open up a web browser and then go to this URL here. I can't copy from it. Well, all right, so Django, the install worked successfully. Congratulations, you are seeing this page because it is blah blah blah. All right, that's what it says we should see. So I guess this is like the starting point of our web app. So yeah, we got that. It says if you receive an error, the port is already in use, and you can just basically change that URL from 8000 to 8001, or just keep going up until it actually works. But this seems to work just fine for me, so we're going to stick with it. And now starting an app. So a Django project is organized as a group of individual apps, it says, and they work together to make the project work as a whole. So for now, we're just going to create one app to do most of the project work. And then in the next chapter, they're going to talk about creating another app to manage user accounts. All right, so it says you should leave the development server running in the terminal window you opened earlier and open a new terminal window or tab and navigate to the directory that contains manage.py. Activate the virtual environment and then run the start app command. So it looks like we're going to need a new command prompt window, and I'm going to change directories again to learning log. All right, learning log is the directory I want to be in because that is the directory that has my manage.py file. And then it says that I just want to go ahead and activate that thing again. All right, I got to go back and see for Windows what they wanted me to do because it's not source. Well, env. and then activate. All right, so my virtual environment is now activated again. And then after that, we want to type in Python manage.py start app, and then learning log. I guess that did what it was supposed to. And then it wants us to do the dir again to kind of see what's in here. So now we have a learning log and learning logs file. So there's two different ones now. I guess the learning logs is going to be our app, maybe. I'm not 100% sure right now. All right, and now it wants us to go ahead and see what is in the actual learning logs file. So dir learning logs, which should be our app, and we'll see what is inside of our app. Invalid switch. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I didn't need that little slash at the end. Again, these commands are a little bit different. So we have modules.py, admin, apps, all that stuff. That is correct. That's what should be in there. So now we want to define modules. So it wants us to open the file modules.py and look at its existing content. Alright, it doesn't really specify whether it wants us to open it in the command prompt or if it actually just wants us to open it like right here. I can definitely open up Python files, right? So this is all it is. It just says from Django.db import modules and then create modules here. Kind of strange it doesn't really specify how to open it or what program to open it with. Alright, yeah, module called modules is being imported for us, and we're being invited to create modules for our own. A blah blah blah. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and create some modules inside of this file. It looks like pretty straightforward stuff here, so I'm just going to go ahead and type it in. I'll leave our little I'll leave that comment right there for now. Just copy in what we got here. So we're creating a class called topic. Class topic modules. And all right, so that has some comments in here that just says it's a topic the user is learning about. I'm not gonna copy that. Like this is just basically creating a class called topics, and then it's going to have a character field and a date that it was created. After that, it looks like we're having us define a function here. And it's just having it return self.text. All right, that's pretty much it. That's what it's got for now. So it's just creating a class for topic, which inherits from model, which is a parent class in Django that defines a model's basic function. We added two attributes, which is just text and date added. The text attribute is going to be a character field, and then the date added attribute is just a date time field, piece of data that will record a date and time. See the different kinds of fields you can use in a module. See the Django model field reference. There's a lot of good stuff in this book if you guys actually want all the details of it. I'm going to kind of skip through a lot of this and just kind of follow along. So Django calls a string method to display a simple representation of a model. Here we've written a string method that returns the string stored in the text attribute. All right, so now we got to activate the modules. So to activate our modules, we need to open up settings.py in the learning log directory. You'll see a section that tells the Django which apps are installed and working in the project. So let's go find settings.py. I think that's over here in the learning log one. Here's settings. Yeah, these are going to be interesting. I'm just going to open them all in IntelliJ. You guys can open them up in Sublime or IntelliJ or Visual Studio, whatever IDE you guys have. If you don't have one, I would suggest just installing one so that you can open up these files and actually work on them. If you don't have one already, I would suggest just trying Sublime. That one's probably the simplest to open up and just edit a few files. But anyway, here we go. We have all of our installed apps. This is where we want to activate our new app. So what it basically is saying to do is kind of just add in a comment here and just say that these are like the default Django apps, and then above that we will do our apps over here, and we'll just do my apps. So we are going to have learning log as one of our apps. I think we're going to need a comma there. And that looks pretty much like it. So next we need to tell Django to modify the database so it can store information related to module topic from the terminal. So we're going to run the following command. I'm assuming this is going to be the second one over here. We're still in learning log. So again, we're going to do that migrate command again. So Python manage.py migrate. Now migrations admin blah blah blah. No migrations to apply. Applying learning logs dot something. That's interesting. It didn't really do what I wanted. Oh, all right. Hold on. I messed up. I missed one thing. So I actually should have done Python manage.py make migrations learning logs. That's the one I forgot. Oh my god, it's so annoying. Oh, it's actually still open. Oh, learning logs. I forgot the S. Alright. Save that and close that, and now it should work. Alright, so now let's go ahead and try that again. Sorry about that. So we're going to do Python and then manage.py make migrations learning logs. There we go. Migration for learning logs, learning initial. Okay, now we got it on. Perfect. And then we need to apply this migration and have Django modify the database for us. So now we can just do Python manage .py, right, migrate. All right, and that does the whole applying learning logs dot blah 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 initial. Okay, perfect. All right. So we're getting there. We are getting there. So now we need to do the whole Django admin site. We need to set up a super user. So set up a super user. We are just going to use this command here, Python manage.py, create super user. All right, so we are going to go ahead and enter a username and then a password, I believe. So all right, and then I'm just going to move this off screen for a second, so that you guys don't see all the stuff. Go. All right. So I created my user, basically just put in username and password, and then I put my email address in there. I don't think you really have to, but you can. So we did that. We have a super user now. All right, so now we want to register our module with the admin site. So we want to open up the admin.py file. Not really sure where it is. Admin, here we go. So I can open this, hopefully with, just open with Sublime. I think that's my best option. All right, now we can register modules here. So in order to register them, it looks like we just go ahead and do from dot modules import topic, and then site dot register topic. All right, so did that. So I guess we'll just go ahead and save that. All right, this code first imports the module we want to register, and then tells the Django to manage our module through the admin site. Now use the super user account to access the admin site. So now I can just go to that same website, I think, but put admin at the end. All right, so this is my Django administration site. This is the admin site. All right, cool. So we got that. Now adding topics. Now that topics has been registered to the admin site, we can add our first topic. All right, so we can click add topic and form, and a form for adding a new topic appears. So just add a new topic. I'm going again right off the book. It just says chess. It's going to be one of the topics. So we'll do that and we'll hit save. It was saved correctly. And we're going to create a second topic. So I guess we can just add another one. And we'll just call it rock climbing. Again, I'm just going right off of what the book is saying. So we have two topics, rock climbing and chess. So now I need to go into my models.py file, and I need to add some stuff into there. So let's go ahead and go to models.py, and we'll just open this with Sublime again. So I think we're going to be adding, all right, so we're adding another class. So down here, we're going to basically create another class. And this one is going to be called entry. And then again, it's going to basically inherit from the models class of Django. And there'll be a couple different there's going to be a couple different things that we put into here. Yep. Topic. Text. Field. Date added. Rules. Date time field. Auto now add. That's all the same. Is true. So that's going to be the same. Now we're going to do one more class down here. This class is going to be called meta. Doesn't have any parameters or anything, I guess. I'll try to read through some of the book right after I write this out and kind of explain to you guys what's going on, because I'm not really 100% sure myself. Like I said, I'm just kind of following from my book. Looks like this is probably just formatting some things. Okay. All right, so let's back up a bit, and I'll kind of read through what some of this stuff is doing, starting with our new class of entry. So first, the first attribute topic is a foreign key instance. A foreign key is a database term, and it's a reference to another record in the database. So again, if you guys have done any kind of pretty much anything with databases, any kind of SQL stuff, you'll kind of understand what foreign keys are and how they kind of map to different things in databases. So that's pretty much what that is there. The on delete module.cascade argument tells Django that when a topic is deleted, all the entries associated with that topic should be deleted as well. So that's just a cascading delete. The next is an attribute called text, which is an instance of text field. This one doesn't have a size limit, unlike the first one did with the topic. Topic actually has a size limit of 200 characters. This one doesn't, because it's going to be a lot larger. The date add attribute again just adds a timestamp to when it was entered. And then it says that we nest the meta class inside our entry class. The meta class holds extra information for managing managing a model. It allows us to set a special attribute telling Django to use entries when it is needed to refer to more than one entry. Without this, Django would refer to multiple entries as entries. Okay, so I guess that's just going to help separate everything out. And then the string method again tells Django which information to show when it refers to the individual entry. Because an entry can be a long body of text, we tell Django to show just the first 50 characters. So that's what that whole self.text return, it basically just returns the first 50 characters. That way it's not showing, the full entry of every single everything. So if someone wrote like a really long one, it would take up the whole page. You don't want that. So this will just kind of make it look a little neater. And then I guess they added the eclipse to clarify that we're not always displaying the entire entry. So now we need to migrate the entry model. So this is going to be similar to what we did before with the other one. We're still in our learning logs. We're still in an active virtual environment. So all we need to do is go ahead and type in that same command, Python manage py, make migrations, learning _log, learning _logs. So I should do that. No change detected. Is it because I didn't save the file again? What was that? Because we added a new module, we need to migrate the database again. It's saying that we need to migrate it, but I don't know that we do. Have changes that are not reflected. Okay, so it is saying there are changes. So why didn't it let me? Maybe it's because I didn't save the file. Make migrations. Alright, yeah, created module entry. That shows up perfect. Alright, so that did what we wanted to this time. Now we can do the Python manage.py. Migrate. Okay, cool. So we got that all set. So now that I did that, we want to register entry with admin. So again, we're going to go to that admin file, which I already have open right here. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing. Up here where we imported topics, we can just do a comma. We can import entry as well. And then right below this, we can just do admin.site register and then do entry. So that we'll save that. That should do it. And now we can go back and we should be able to go back to our admin site right here, and we should see entries. So now we can add entries. Alright, so we'll click this, and then the drop down here we can do chess or the other one. For some reason this is saying topic object 1 and it's not actually returning chess. I wonder if that's something I messed up with the return. We'll just go ahead and use the drop down. I know that topic object 1 is chess, so it has some kind of made up stuff that we can type in here. Alright, it has a whole bunch. It's got like a whole paragraph. I'm not going to save all of that. So we're just going to save that entry. And then we can hit a new entry, and we can go down to object 2. And again, they have like a whole made up thing here for the next one, which was rock climbing. Um, all right, again, just for time, I'm going to just do the first sentence. I'm not going to do the whole paragraph. All right, so we got some more other terminal commands we can try over here. We're going to try Python, again, manage.py, and then just do shell. All right. And then from learning logs dot models import topic, and then we're going to do topic dot object, topic dot objects dot all. All right, so it says topic object 1, topic object 2. Again, this is supposed to say chess and rock climbing. I'm not sure why this is not returning the text like it should be. But that's something I'll have to figure out later. Alright, so alright, topics equal topic dot objects dot all for topic and topics print topic.id console line 2 print topic.id topic error expected in indent. The next thing we're going to do is start making pages, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to close this. We'll open this back up. Let's just go ahead and change directories again. To my learning log file, and then I need to activate it again. So yeah, I think I had the slashes facing the wrong direction. All right, so I was close. There we go. All right, so it's activated. I should have everything I need now. I can probably do that whole migrate thing one more time just to make sure everything is correct. So Python dot manage dot py make migrations learning underscore logs topics rename to topics dot text character. Yeah, that is correct. Yes. All right, and then I can do, that's probably what was messing up my thing before. Again, just one little typo can make just a huge issue. All right, so now that should be all set. Let's go back to where we were before and see if we can look at a few things the way that it was trying to get us to look at things. In fact, we can go back to the site now and see if it's actually going to return the correct. We'll run server thing again. So we'll do Python manage.py server. Alright, so now I got the server running again. Maybe it just wasn't running. Copy that and one more time. Alright, cool. So that's what we want. We just need to run the server again. Alright. Entry, object, topic 1. Alright, so it shows chest now is my topic 1. That's cool. And then entries. Doesn't show, still doesn't show it here, but you know what, I'm not that upset about it. At least it is showing it. I actually click on it. Alright, whatever. We have it up and running again. So now we want to make pages. The learning log home page. So now we're going to create a home page. So in the main learning log project folder, open the file urls.py. So we will go back to our learning logs file here, and we're going to go to URLs. Okay. So we should see all this. We need to include the URLs for learning logs, so add the following. So we're going to add another path over here. Make a path. I gotta go check and see if my daughter's on there. Alright, so my daughter woke up, so I'm going to try to make this a little faster. We're almost at the end of this chapter. I might even pause it here. Oh man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we still have about like 10 more pages to go. There's a couple different pages and stuff we're going to do. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and just add this stuff here. Include learning logs dot URLs and comma there. Alright, so we added that there. We've added a line to include the module learning logs dot URL, and then now we need to make a second URL.py file in the learning logs folder. Create a new Python file and save it as urls.py in the learning logs and enter this code into it. Let's just go ahead and create a new file. Do file, save as, and we're going to save it in our learning logs file.
That she wants. I'm sorry, she wants you.
It's alright. Alright, so I created a new file called urls.py, saved it in the learning log file. As you can see, my beautiful little daughter has joined me. Yeah. It's been about an hour and a half anyway. I'm going to call it quits for today. We'll pick this up another time. Like I said, it's going to be a couple videos in order to get this whole thing. But that's it for this one. Oh yeah, so I created a I created a URLs file inside of the learning logs. That's what I did. And I need to enter the following code into it. So I don't think I entered any code into it. So I have the learning logs folder here. I created this urls.py last time. And I think this is where I want to be putting in the code that they have here. So for this one, again, they have like a little comment at the top that just says, Alright, yeah, they have a little comment at the top that just says basically defines URL paths for learning logs. So we're going to do, I'm just going to copy what they got over here. And I guess this is just going to be our home page. They have a little comment there for home page. Oops. All right. So again, I'm not 100% sure what all this is doing just yet, but I will try to paraphrase whatever the book says about it. It basically says we're just importing a path function, which is needed when mapping URLs to views. We also import a view module. The dot tells Python to import the view.py model from the same directory as the current URL py model. Variable app name helps Django distinguish this URL.py file from files of the same name in other apps. The variable URL paths in this model is a list of individual pages that can be requested from the Learning Logs app. And then the actual URL path is a call to the path function, which takes 3 arguments. The first argument is a string that helps Django route the current request properly. Django receives the requested URL and tries to route the request to a view. It does this by searching all the URL patterns we've defined to find one that matches the current request. Django ignores the base URL for the project, which is a local, basically that whole HTTP localhost 8000 thing. So the empty string matches the base URL. All right, so the second argument is the path. That specifies which function to be called in view.py. When a requested URL matches the pattern we're defining, Django calls the index function from view.py, where we'll write this view function in the next section. So we're about to write that. And a third argument provides the name index for this URL pattern, so we can refer to it in other code sections. Whenever we want to provide a link to the home page, we'll use this name instead of writing out a URL. So that should explain pretty much what we just did right there. So now we're going to be writing a view, which is going to be in the view.py file inside of learning logs, which was generated automatically when we ran the command manage.py start app. So let's go ahead and open up that file, views.py in learning logs. And this is all that's in there right now. This is where we can create our view, I guess. All right, so we're going to go ahead and create some stuff down here. I think this is just going to be their kind of the comment for this, but I'll put it in there just so things are a little bit more clear as to what we're doing. All right, so we're going to return render request learning logs index index.html. All right. All right, so when a URL request matches the pattern we just defined, Django looks for a function called index in the view.py file. Django then passes the request object to this function. In this case, we don't need to process any data for the page, so the only code in the function is a call to render. The render function passes 2 arguments, the original request object and a template it can use to build the page. So we're going to write the template. So we're going to have to create a new folder inside of our learning logs folder, and we're going to call that templates. All right, so inside of this, we are going to create a new folder. And just going to call that folder templates. And then I guess inside of this folder, we're gonna make another folder called learning logs. It's kind of confusing how they have so many different folders named learning logs, but that is what they're telling me to do, so I'm gonna do what they got. This might seem a little redundant. Alright, yeah, for sure. We have a folder named learning logs inside a folder named templates inside a folder named learning logs. But it sets up a structure that Django can interpret unambiguously, even in the context of a large project, containing many individual apps. Inside the inner learning logs folder, make a new file called index.html. The path to the file will be learning logs, templates, learning logs, index.html. Enter the following into the file. Alright, so I guess inside of this, we're going to create a new file, which I guess I'll just have to create up here. We'll do new file, and then I'll just do save as. And we will save this inside of our templates learning logs folder as index.html. All right, and now it wants me to add the following into this file. This is going to be an HTML file, so I'm guessing that all the code inside of here is just going to be HTML, which I haven't really done anything with in a very long time. Yeah. Again, these are just going to be like all tags, basically. All right. Okay, this is a very simple file. If you're not familiar with HTML, like I said, I haven't used it in a while. Um, those tags, so these p tags are basically just parentheses tags. So, or paragraphs, sorry. Tags simplify paragraphs. The p tag opens a paragraph, and the slash p tag closes a paragraph. We have two paragraphs. Blah blah blah. Now I can request the base URL. You should see the page you just built instead of the default Django page. Okay, so I guess if I go ahead and if I save all of this, now when I go to this and maybe if I refresh this, I do apologize for that. It took forever for this to work. Honestly, I didn't really change much. What I ended up doing was just going into each one of my files that I had open. I saved them all, closed it, and then I went into here and basically just pressed Control C, and then I did some migration. I just did the whole Python manage py make migrations learning logs. It said that nothing was really changed. It said no changes detected in the app learning logs, and then I just did migrate again. It said no migrations to apply, but after I did that and restarted it, it is now running the page that we want. So we now have this. This is going to be our home page where we have learning log, and learning log helps you keep track of your learning. This is basically the HTML page we want it to go to. So Googled a bunch of things about why it might not be working, but be that as it may, like I said, I didn't change anything. These are all the files that I had open. This was my HTML file, my view file, which is inside of learning logs folder. So I have this view file, my URL file inside of learning logs, and then as well as my other URL, which is inside of the first folder. So inside of this learning logs folder, I have URLs. That is the one that is right here. And then inside my learning logs one, I have another URLs, which is this one here. And then I have my views, and then the actual index file, which is inside of templates. inside of my learning log. So inside of learning logs, we have templates, learning logs, and then that's where my HTML file is. So anyway, I do apologize for that. I don't know why. Again, like I said, it was giving me that error where I was saying they didn't match. I think it was because the files that I was actually looking at were not saved or something. So it wasn't, what I was looking at wasn't actually what Django was looking at, I guess. But anyway, like I said, it is working now. We got that. We can move on. We're going to create some more pages. So bear with me. I know this is going to be very long, but we're getting close to the end of it. So we're going to go ahead and try to build additional pages. We want to use template inheritance. So we are going to create a template called base HTML in a directory, in the same directory as index.html. So I'm going to close these for now. And like I said, my index.html is right here. So I'm going to create, I guess it wants me to create a new file, huh? All right, so for that, I will just keep this open, I guess, and I'll just create a new file here. Create a new file. We'll do save as. And this is perfect. That's the directory I wanted in. Templates, learning logs, right here with this. And we'll call it base.html. All right. So this is going to be our parent template, I suppose. And the elements we want to repeat on each page right now is the title at the top, because we'll include this template on every page. Let's make the title a link to the home page. All right, so again, we're going to use that paragraph tag, and we're going to give it, I guess, a link. Trying really hard not to make any typos on this, because it's going to really be annoying if it is, if I do anything wrong. Oh, whoops. All right, so I already kind of made a mistake here. This was all supposed to be inside of another tag. All right, there we go. And like the other time, I will read through a little bit of the explanation of all this after I'm done writing it. A lot of this is a little unfamiliar to me because, like I said, this is like HTML stuff. But essentially, the first line here is, in this example, is just the namespace, and index is a uniquely named URL pattern in that namespace. The namespace comes from the value we assign to app name in learning logs /url.py file. In a simple HTML page, a link is surrounded by the anchor tag. So that's what the A is. The anchor tag is to show that that is a link. All right. So for that second line, the line at the bottom, we insert a pair of block tags. This block named context is a placeholder. The child template will define the name, will define the kind of information that goes in the content block. So a child template doesn't have to define every block from its parent. So you can reserve space in parent templates for as many blocks as you like. The child template uses only as many as it requires. All right, so now we're going to do the child template. So now we need to rewrite index.html to inherit from base.html. So we're going to add the following. To that. But before we do, I'm just going to make sure I hit Control Save, because I want to make sure that everything, all these changes are actually saved. That way, when I try to run my server, it'll show me what I'm doing. Okay. So we are going to be adding to this. It looks like we're not doing a whole lot of changes here. I'm just going to start at the top, and basically we're just going to write in that it extends learning logs. Whoops. Learning logs base.html. So again, that's going to make this like a child basically, and it's going to inherit stuff from our base.html file that we just created. So that's just saying that it's extended, and then right here we're going to create this whole block. If I can type. Again, I guess that just creates a block named content. And then below that, it looks like they just got rid of this whole learning logs paragraph, and they just kept this second paragraph. And then below that, they have it ending the block. And block content. So I guess this is just kind of how we're using those blocks that we created. So like I said, the beginning of it just basically shows that it extends the other one, and then by inserting the block tag with the name content, everything that we aren't inheriting from the parent template goes inside that content block. So what we're not inheriting is that paragraph that we put in there inside our block. And then 3, we indicate that we are finished defining the content by using the end block tag. All right. Now we have an efficient approach to building pages. We can focus on our next 2 pages, general topics, and the page to display entries for a single topic. So the topic page will show all the topics that users have created, and it's the first page we will involve working with data. Okay. So topics URL pattern. So we have to go back and we have to modify learninglogs.urls. So we're going to go ahead and save this, and we're going to go to learning logs URLs. Yeah, this is just learning log URLs. There's 2 different ones. I got to make sure I don't confuse the 2. All right, yeah, so they want the one from learning logs, not learning log. All right, so now we have this one, and we are going to add some additional things underneath path. We're going to create another path, and they have some more comments over here. It just says page that shows all topics. All right, so this will be the path to our topics page. And again, I think we're giving this URL a name so that we can use that in our code later on. Starting to kind of recognize a pattern here with all this stuff. So basically, I guess this is our path. We'll do topics and then views.topics. So inside this folder, it's going to look for the views.py file. And then we're just giving this whole path a name called topics, just like we did up here with the index. All right. And then the topics view, this is where we actually have to create the view. So for the topics function, we need to retrieve some data from the database and send it to the template. So this is what we need to do to add to the view.py file. So inside of our view, which before had just a definition for index, now we're going to create another definition for topics. So right down here, we'll do the same thing. We'll define topics. Looks like the same kind of deal, request. And then down here, we're going to be creating a couple variables inside of this. So I guess that's probably going to order, it's going to hold some of our data and order it by the date added. Looks like it's going to be returning basically the topics, the context variable there that we're going to be holding some data in, and also it's going to be returning our HTML page. So oh, I almost forgot to import. Looks like we're doing another import down here. So we're going to do from dot models import topic. All right, so we're going to import our topic from the models, and go ahead and hit Control Save just to make sure that this is saved. That looks like everything we need. Now the topic template, we need to create basically that HTML file that we're going to need. So we need to make a topics.html file in the same directory as our index.html. And then it'll show us what we need to do from there. So again, we're going to create another file here, new file. We will save this as, and I want this to be in my templates. I want it to be right here. And we're going to save it as our topics.html. And then for here, again, we're going to do the whole extends because it's going to be a child of our base HTML. It looks like all the pages that we create are going to be just basically child classes, that base one, which is going to set us up with some just stuff right off the bat, like a link back to the home page. So we don't have to worry about doing all that. Then we're going to go ahead and define the whole block context, and then we will write, what we want inside that block. So this is going to be, looks like some more tags. I'm not sure what this tag is, so I will let you guys know at the end when I read through it and it lets me know. Looks like we are going to be creating some type of for loop to loop through some data, most likely, and then display that data. Yeah. Right, I assume that this one right here basically is just kind of telling it what to do if it goes in and finds no data. Um, yeah, I have to assume that that's what that is. Just going to give you like it's going to display, I don't know, no topics have been added, so that makes sense. And then this basically looks like it's ending our for loop. And then at the very end, we're just ending the block. Okay. So hit save on that. That looks like that's going to be our next page. So let me go ahead and just kind of explain what some of these things are. The unordered list, and so in standard HTML, a bulleted list is called an unordered list and is indicated by the tag UL. So that UL is basically going to create an unordered list or a bulleted list. So we begin the bulleted list of topics right there, and then we have another tag. We have another template tag equivalent to a for loop, which that made sense to me. So again, we're just kind of looping through it. All right, and then the HTML tag li indicates a list item. So anything between these tags inside a pair of UL or unordered list tags will appear as a bulleted item in the list. So basically, we're just creating a list, a bulleted list of all of our topics, and then those li is basically a list item. So it just goes and puts that list item, takes that list item from topics and puts it into our list. So that's what all those tags are for. And then obviously it lets us know if there's if there's nothing there, it just says the topic has been added, and that ends our block. So that's pretty much everything. So it says now we need to modify the base template to include a link to the topic page. So we're going to add the following code to the base template. Let's go over to our base HTML template here. I think, did I save this? Oops. Did I just closed my, oh no, topics HTML file. Can't open that with Sublime. In case I have to. Alright, sorry. We're going to go to the base.html and we're going to add some stuff to this. So in our base.html file, in this first paragraph, looks like we're keeping the first one, log index, and we're just going to be adding something else. Looks like it's going to be another. Looks like it's going to be another. Sorry, it looks like it's going to be another another URL or a link. This one, instead of index, it's going to go to topics. All right, so I think that is everything we need. Roll and save. All right, so we added a dash after the link to the home page and then added a link to the topics page using that URL template tag again. Now when you refresh the home page, we should see a topics link. When you click on the link, you should see a page that looks similar to what we have over here. So let's go ahead and refresh this. Yeah, we got some errors. Block context and block context. Oh, I misspelled this. It's supposed to be contents and not context. Again, this is the dumb stuff that kills me. Save. Learning logs, topics. All right, guys. So this is gonna be the third day recording. A couple different things. A couple things gonna go happen right before I jump into this. So I went through all my code and I found a couple different errors that I will highlight for you guys and show you, you know, what I did wrong, and now everything is kind of working. And then we'll move forward with the web app and continue making additional pages. So very first thing here, I'm just going to open up all the different files I got. Another thing that I'm going to start doing in my videos from now on is trying to kind of like zoom in on stuff for you guys, just to kind of help you guys out so that you can, oh my gosh, it's really annoying. Okay, there we go. Just move myself over a little bit. All right. There we go. So yeah, what I was saying is someone commented on one of my videos and they liked the content, but they said it was really difficult to see. So I'm gonna start trying to do this for you guys so that you can everything kind of is zoomed in, and hopefully you guys will be able to see everything a little bit better. So first things first, one of the issues that I found, and one of the issues I found was just an indent error. Again, Python's really picky with how you indent. So and previously I had these these string definitions here. I had them actually over here. And what that was doing is it was bringing it outside of the classes that I wanted to actually have them in. And because of that, when it displayed the topic models, it was basically just saying model 1 and model 2. It wasn't returning the actual string, which was the name of the model that I wanted. And I can actually show you an example kind of that, but like you saw in the previous, or you saw in the beginning of this, it wasn't displaying my models correctly, and that was the issue there. So for my entries and my topics, all I had to do was just indent my string definitions here, and now it displays everything correctly. The other big issue that I was having at the end of the last day I was doing this was it not, I think it was in my base HTML file here. So the issue that I had here, and the reason that it was not displaying my links correctly, and it was saying that this wasn't a correct link, is because I had these carrots here. I had this basically like this, and if you guys remember, like this was all in white, and this is what showed up. And basically when I tried to run this, I got a bunch of errors. So I think when I was typing this out, I think it auto filled this in for me and just put it surrounded the A with the carrots. And I actually wanted to have all of this inside of that. So that was another error that I found. I do apologize, but again, this is the first time I'm doing this and going through it, trying to follow the book. Typing everything out by hand, there's going to be little mistakes, but I think these mistakes are kind of good to show, and trying to find them and show you guys kind of what errors can happen by just for doing little mistakes like that is good. It's all part of the process. You guys are going to run into errors no matter what, no matter how good the tutorial is, no matter how well you try to follow it. You're going to make little mistakes and you're going to have errors, and it's good to be able to figure those out, overcome them, and move on. So yeah, anyway, basically that is what I got for today. Now we'll move on with the actual web app. So first things first, gotta go to my directory. So do learning log, and then I have to activate my virtual environment. So again, this was the file that I had, and just do scripts, activate. Now that it's in parentheses, it's been activated. All right, and then after that, I want to run my server. So we'll do Python manage.py run server. And then I can grab this piece of information right here. Just copy that. All right, so now this is what we're supposed to have. This is our basically our home page. And then now this is the link that we just added. So we can go to this link and it'll show our topics. And as you can see, it's actually showing chess and rock climbing now like it should, not topic 1 and topic 2. So again, those errors have been corrected. Just to show you guys real quick what it was actually doing, I can basically do this and this again. If I save this and I rerun it, you'll see that it not only are these not links, but it kind of shows some weird things. I'm actually not getting the error that I was getting before, which is kind of strange. But hey, that's kind of what you'll see. You may end up getting an error or something because I had an error before. And then again, the other one was in my models where I just had this outside of my class. If I save that and refresh here, you can see when I go to my topics, it just shows the topic object 1, topic object 2, and that is because we didn't redefine what it's supposed to return, or the string object that it's supposed to return when you ask. So just got to move this definition back inside our class. Always be careful of like indentation issues. Yeah, and then we have what we need. All right, so now that we got that, we can move on with our project. So we are going to create an individual, excuse me, where's my green screen? We're going to move on to individual topic page that's going to show all of our entries for that topic. So I'm assuming what we're going to probably end up doing is making these links, I guess, so you can go to the different topics. So let's see what we got here. We are going to go to our urls.py file and add some more stuff to that. And this is going to be the URLs inside of learning logs. So we do have two different URL files. One is in learning log and one is in learning logs. We want to add it to this one here. And we're just going to go right below what we had before. Actually, no, this is going to be inside of our inside of our URL pattern. So we're just going to create another pattern. So it looks like this one is going to be for our detail page for a single topic. We'll just add this little comment there so we know what it's for. And again, we're just going to create our paths. Oops. All right, path, topics. Oh, whoops, this is all going to be inside of parentheses. Oops. Right. Excuse me. Still trying to get over this whole COVID thing. I still got a cough. It's been like 3 weeks. All right. I'll do view, topics, and then comma, name, topic. All right. So we have added another path here to our topic ID, view, topic, blah, blah, blah. Now we got to create our view. So in view py, over here in our views, looks like we are probably going to define another view, which will be our individual topic. So just do one more space. We're going to call this one topic instead of topics. And we're actually going to pass this one a topic ID so it knows which topic it wants to display. I'll start adding these comments in here, I guess, just so you guys can see them as well. That's what this is going to do. Topic, again, is basically just going to be the topic object. We are going to get the ID of the topic that we want, which is just going to be that topic ID that we passed to this function in the parameters. And then we'll have our entries. Which is basically just going to be topic dot entry underscore set order by, and we're going to again order this by the date that it was added. That way they'll just kind of have all the newer ones up front, I think. Context. For this, we are going to topic entries. I'll have to keep an eye on, forgot I had this all zoomed in, so try to keep an eye on this so you guys can actually see everything I'm doing. Yeah, it's kind of new, so bear with me if I end up not paying attention and not showing you guys everything for a second. All right, so there we go. We have another view set up in our views. This should hopefully display the individual topic and the entries for that topic. Now we're going to go and create our actual topic.html file, which I assume is going to be right inside of our templates. So let's go ahead and jump over. Actually, no, let's create a new file because that's usually what we end up doing. We'll just create a new file here, and then we'll do save as, and I'll save this inside my templates. Save as. We're gonna go learning logs, templates, which is where all my other HTML files are, over here. And for this one, we'll just create topic.html. All right, so now we have our individual topics, and we're going to go ahead and basically add in all the same stuff. Again, this one is going to extend our base HTML page. That way it has all the other stuff from base. So we just type that in right in the top. There we go. And this is going to be our first little block of stuff. It looks like there's an indent there, so again, I got to be really careful with these indents. Top. And I guess this is most likely going to put in our actual topic name for us. That's what it looks to me that it's going to do. So our basically our first paragraph tag is going to have topics and then display the topic that we chose. And the second one will have our entries. And then from what I remember, again, this is like an unordered list. So for our unordered list, this is probably where we will do a for loop. This for loop, I am assuming, is going to be grabbing all of our entries. And the li tag, again, is for line item, from what I remember. Kind of remembering this HTML stuff a little bit. Oops. Hold on. I'm going to keep that like this. All right. This is, again, most of this I'm kind of just guessing at. I'll read through it at the end just to make sure that I'm correct, but it seems pretty, it seems pretty self-explanatory. It looks like it's just going to be displaying the date in a certain format that is going to show us when that entry was added. And then below that, we'll have another paragraph tag. Oops. And this one is going to display the actual entry. And I believe the way we have the entry set up, again, it's only going to show us the very first 50 characters. And then after that, I think you can click on it to see more. Entry.text line breaks, blah, blah, blah. That's the first one. And then again, they have, looks like a way to handle any empty topics. So if we have a topic that doesn't have any entries, this is going to cover us for that and basically let us know that there are no entries. So we just basically feed it a line item. All right, there we go. All right, and then at the very end here, we will just end our block. Or end our for loop, I mean. All right, so for loop is done. And then at the very end of this, I'm trying to keep this the same, then we'll end our block. So that is our block content. We have everything we want in there. We can end the block content. Oops. There we go. I'll save that. So now we have a topic HTML inside of our templates. That'll be our page. So now we just got to create the link. Right, so inside of our topics page here, we're going to create a link for the actual topics. So we're going to change this around a little bit. Instead of, so this line item is going to be a little different. It's not going to be just the topic. It is actually going to be a link referencing that topic. So what I'm going to do is kind of do what they're doing here to make it a little clearer. This topic part is still going to remain the same. We are just going to create a link, it looks like, in front of it. So again, I want to make sure I don't close that A tag yet, because all of this is supposed to be inside of it. So href Then I can do that. URL. Learning logs. Topic. Topic.id. There we go. All right, and then at the very end of this, I gotta end that A tag. Oh my goodness. All right, there we go. So that should be the correct reference, and that will hopefully, let me just control save this. Hopefully that will allow us to click on the actual topic that we want. All right, so we use the URL template tag to generate the proper link based on the URL pattern in learning logs with the name topic. This URL pattern requires a topic ID argument, so we add the attribute topic.id to the URL tag template. So now each topic should have a link. If we refresh the page, we should be able to actually see the entries. So let's go back to our page here. Everything is still running. Oop, yeah. All right, so we have, whoops, we got some issues here. We actually take this zoom off. You guys can see everything. Again, this is an issue I had with one of my other ones, the no reverse match at topics. Oop, here we go. So I said topics instead of topic. So the view I want is topic, not topics. So I added an additional S right there. Oh, you know what? It's showing this whole invalid syntax thing. I think I messed up. There should be an equals right here. Name. Yeah, that's the issue. I'm gonna go ahead and just close this again. Start over. Go to my folder, learning log. We'll go ahead and activate my environment again. Wait, no. What am I doing? Activate. If I could spell. All right, let's try this again. All right, there we go. No changes detected in the app, learning logs. That's fine. So now we'll go ahead and try to run my server. Looks like it's going to start working now. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, if you have real issues, check your code first, obviously, and then if there's issues after that, shut everything down and just restart everything. You'll get pretty good at going through this whole process. So now we can go back to, hopefully, my site. We have topics. All right, it didn't crash. That's good. And now these are links. So if I go to chess, aha, entries, January 4th. The opening is the first part of the game, roughly the first 10 moves or so. Hey, it worked. All right, so there we go. We have our topics. We have our learning logs here. We can go to topics. We can click on the different topics and see them. Sweet deal. All right. So, learning has occurred. That looks like pretty much all of it for now. Yeah, after that, it's basically a summary. The very last, oh, this isn't even the last one, is it? There's two more chapters. Oh yeah, okay. So the next chapter is going to be user accounts. We're going to create another app solely for user accounts so that we can actually create account and then add topics and stuff. And then after that, we will go into styling and deploying the app. So the last chapter after we create our accounts app portion of this is going to be actually setting up this site and hosting it and actually having it so that everybody in the world could go to that site and actually use it. And when we get to that point, I'm going to hope that you guys, the people, you viewers, the people watching this video, if you're having fun learning about this stuff, even if you didn't go through the whole trouble of recreating this. If you want to go to this site and add a topic, and then write something about it, it'd be really cool to see people interacting with it. But anyway, I'm gonna call it a day for today, and hopefully maybe put out the first video. I think I'm far enough along to where I can create the first video.